Hi everyone, George Farmer here, content creator for Tropica Aquarium Plants and your host this evening for Tropicalive. This is our 6th edition. So super excited, we've got a great edition ahead. We're going to scape this Fluval Spec 60 litre specifically for a betta fish using a low energy aquascape. And first of all, before I introduce the special guest, I want to thank the audience, you guys, for watching. I really appreciate it, and if you could share this stream, that would be amazing. And also I want to thank the entire Tropica team for making these Tropica lives possible, in particular Jonas, who's on the live chat right now, my colleague Radu, who's the coordinator, and we've got Thomas here, who's our webmaster. So let's introduce our special guest this evening, Rachael Ellis, all the way from the UK. Come on over.
Hello, hello.
Come over here.
Sorry.
There we go. Nice.
Hiya, George.
Hiya. Thank you so much for coming. It's really, really great to see you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you kind of got into the hobby right at the beginning.
Yeah, okay. So it was about 2 years ago now that I kind of got into it, and kind of a little bit of backstory is I'm massively into animals, and I keep reptiles and amphibians, you know, snakes, lizards, tortoises and things like that, and I like to build them, you know, enclosures that kind of mimic the natural habitat a little bit, or as close as possible, just because I think that's kind of better for them, gives them a chance to exhibit more natural behaviour and things like that. Yeah. So I had some tree frogs that I wanted to build a terrarium for, like a bioactive style. So going down the YouTube black hole, watching videos and like getting information on that, and an aquascaping video popped up. And
so you originally getting terrariums, and then by accident you discovered aquascaping? Yeah,
it was a complete happy accident.
Oh wow, that's cool. So
obviously I watched these videos, yours being, you know, quite a lot of, one of them. Cool. And it was just, you know, the way that the kind of aquascapers on there like spoke about it, it's you know, passionate and inspiring, and it was infectious, and I just kind of really wanted to have a go at it, and it made sense because I guess terrariums, paludariums, things that I was already building, aquascaping's kind of not too far from that. No,
it's so closely linked to that nature vibe, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
Awesome.
And then from
there, was this at the beginning of lockdown then, 2 years ago or so?
Yeah.
So you're a lockdown scaper?
I'm a lockdown
There's a few
scaper.
of you guys out there.
There's a few of us,
yeah. I think it's really interesting that something, you know, is quite sad and as challenging as a pandemic can actually do something quite good for people, and a lot of people have discovered aquascaping through the pandemic. So
it's nice,
in a way, you know, it's hard to be grateful for some things, but you know, I'm grateful that there's some more aquascapers out there.
Yeah, and that people could find something positive.
And you're one of them, and we're really grateful for you being here and showcasing how a beginner can achieve really great, successful results, you know, in a relatively short time. And the proof is, you know, here right now, and hopefully you're going to help us create something quite beautiful today.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So while you're on the chat, guys, please do ask questions to our plant expert, Jonas. He's there, ready on hand. And just a quick summary of what to expect. It's going to last an hour or so. We're going to aquascape a beautiful aquascape with Rachael for a betta tank. And we do have a very special announcement at the end of the show. It's the Instagram 100k giveaway. Yeah. So we're really grateful to all our followers, and as a kind of sign of gratitude, we're giving away a full tour of our greenhouse, accommodation, flights, etc. So we'll announce that winner at the end, and really excited about that. So thank you everyone. Okay, let's crack on with the live show, shall we?
Yeah.
Let's introduce the system. You know what this is?
Fluval Spec.
A Fluval Spec 60 litre. Yeah. Comes complete with a built-in filter. It does need an additional heater, I think.
For a betta fish,
and I don't think the kit comes with a heater, so you will need to buy a heater. What sort of temperature are we talking for bettas?
27, 28
yeah,
kind
it's
of
quite
area.
Warmer. It's on the warmer side, isn't it?
Yeah, so a heater is definitely a must-have.
Recommended. Yeah. And we turn the circulation right down on the filter as well, don't we?
Yeah.
We'll talk more in detail about that. Why we need to do that later, maybe. Yeah. But it comes complete with the filter, all the media that you need. It does come with a light integrated into the hood here, but we've had that just removed today, so we can use this. Woohoo! We're just using this spotlight at the moment. here, so we've got easy access for the aquascaping. So it measures about 45 centimetres by about 35 by about 28 or so, I'd say, holds 60 litres. An ideal beginner setup, would you say?
Yeah, and
yeah,
because
got everything you need
in it, yeah.
apart from the heater.
Yeah.
Good size for a Betta, 60 litres.
Yeah, I'd definitely say so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's crack on with the aquascaping, shall we? Now we did do some. Oh, hang on a second. We're going to talk about the layout.
Oh, okay. Let's
Thank
talk
you
about
for
it.
your prompt, Radu. So do you want to grab your lovely picture there?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Rachel has done this already. It's probably on the screen right now. So you can see Rachel's digital arts. I think it's safe to call it that.
Yeah.
Is it NFT standard yet?
Oh, that's the goal, right?
But it's a beautiful layout. It's classic nature aquarium, isn't it? You've got
Yeah.
use of red plants here.
Yeah.
Is that okay to use red plants with no CO2 as long as you've got enough light, I guess?
I think with it's Ludwigia.
With the palustris, easy, isn't it? So
yeah,
that's
so
fine.
you will get some good results, I think.
Yeah, we'll talk more about the plants in more detail, but classic nature aquarium style, would you call that?
Yeah, definitely inspired by.
Use of nice hardscape. You've
Yeah.
got the cosmetic sand foreground with smaller stones, Sirius stone kind of effect
Yeah.
as a border,
Yeah.
and then some beautiful driftwood.
Yeah,
So we'll try to replicate that relatively
as close as
closely.
possible, yeah.
Yeah, and we have prepared the plants. We'll talk more about that later. Let's put that away.
Yeah.
Okay, we do have some beautiful Tropica live merch that we're wearing right now.
Yeah.
There are some water bottles. We've got a beautiful video that we're going to play you right now, in fact, all about the merch. We're ready. Cool. Okay, as you've seen our beautiful merch video there, so with a chance to win our beautiful merch giveaway box, the question is, how many plant species are we using today in this Fluval Spec? So answer now in the live chat. We'll pick a random winner at the end, and then we'll tell you what to do after that. Okay, should we start scaping?
Yeah.
Yes,
good
let's
idea.
do that. So we have chosen our hardscape already.
Yeah.
We're on a time limit, so we do
Yeah.
need to work quite quickly. I'll go and grab that now.
Yeah. We did pre-glue something, didn't we?
We did.
Just to.
Yeah, do you want to talk through what we did?
So it's just some cotton and some cyanoacrylate
Super glue.
glue.
Yeah.
And just kind of wedge that in the contact points and just add the glue, and it just kind of forms like a rock solid bond just to
So you
prevent
can-
floating.
So you can see this white stuff here. Yeah,
actually
it's basically a mixture of cotton fibre, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the super glue mixed together, and it forms like a really strong rock solid adhesive,
Yeah.
like a concrete almost. It's like a cement, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
does,
really
yeah.
good when you get it on your fingers.
As George did
as
today.
well, yeah.
He's lost his fingerprints.
Yeah, if I could be a master criminal. So that's glued on there securely. I think that looks great already, Rachel.
Yeah, that was the plan.
And then we do have another piece of wood here.
Yeah.
And
Should we add that now, or once we've put the
do you think put the
rocks in, because it kind of comes over the rock?
It
or
does,
it's-
didn't it? Yeah. So let's do rocks next.
Yeah.
Go
Go with the big
You want
one.
the big one first?
Yeah.
There you go.
Thanks. Try not to smash the tank because I kept hitting it with the rocks in practice.
So the idea here is that we are, we've put the hardscape in first because we are limited, with the size of the aquarium. It's not a huge aquarium, and then we can actually put the soil and the sand in afterwards. And we actually need to use less substrate that way because, of course, the hardscape is actually taking some physical space up around the base of the aquarium. So you're actually saving on product as well. So Rachel's going to finish putting the stones in. We did kind of practice this layout loosely earlier on just to make sure we were comfortable and make sure everything fitted. Yeah. There are a few top tips that we can follow when we're hardscaping. The number one thing is make sure you choose the right materials. So here we're using beautiful driftwood and a combination of the Frodo stones here. And we do actually have another type of rock here, that's Sirius stone, but it does actually look very similar to this piece of Frodo stone, so that's okay. So when we're choosing our hardscape, we want to make sure we have plenty of it. It's going to form quite a kind of nice design, high impact look in the aquascape. And we can use compositional guidelines like the rule of thirds. So for instance, this rock here is about a third of the way along. This is the main rock, so that's like a main focal point. And then this sticky up bit here, this is like a focal point, and this is about a third of the way along from the right. Yeah. So this creates a nice aesthetic balance. You use the rule of thirds, Rachel, when you're aquascaping?
I try to, yeah. As much as possible.
Yeah, it's just really easy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good rule to follow.
Yeah.
I probably have to be more mindful trying to like hit that point. I don't know if you, being more experienced, it comes naturally.
It kind of comes like instinctually now, but that's just because I've done it so many times.
Yeah.
I think it's aquascaping, like composition and thing is like it's almost like a language. You know, when you practice something so much and so much, it becomes intuitive.
Yeah. It's second nature.
Yeah. Shall I help you out here?
Yeah.
Is that all right?
Yeah, you picked this stone. I'll let you.
Oh, this is my favourite one. Yeah, I love the jaunty angle. That bit there. Can you see?
Nice textures. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're just trying to kind of create a barrier to hold the...
Yeah, so the idea here is we put sand in the front and then soil at the back. It's a very popular technique in nature aquarium style aquascaping. And is there any kind of particular points we need to consider for the betta fish, Rachel, in terms of the hardscape?
Yeah, just making sure that there's no like really sharp edges on the wood or the stones. Obviously with betta fish, they've got quite, or some of them have quite extravagant finnage, which is quite delicate, so you don't want them to rip that on any kind of sharp points.
Okay. And that finnage as well, does that cause other like things to consider?
Yeah, obviously with the flow, you want, if it's got like long fins, you don't want a fast kind of filter flow because they kind of get blasted around the tank a little bit and they don't really like it. And the fins can be quite heavy for them, so it's,
What does that mean then, with the fins are heavy? Does that mean that they kind of have to have a rest, do they?
Yeah, so making sure that there's lots of plants or, broadleaf plants or just places for them to just lay down and have a little chill.
Because I have seen some really cool like Instagram reels of like where the bettas are lying down, and they're really interesting to watch, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They've got great little personalities of bettas, and that's kind of why I've fallen in love with them.
Is that? Yeah, I was going to ask you. Is that the?
Yeah. Well, I've got 4, and they're all different. They're all got their own personalities. One's more, a little bit more aggressive and feisty. One's a little bit shyer.
Have you named them?
Yeah, I have actually.
What are they called?
So there's Pepsi. You know the story behind Pepsi.
Can you tell the audience why it's called Pepsi?
I don't know if they can handle it.
It's pretty intense.
It's really
story.
exciting.
We need to give people a trigger warning or anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was drinking Pepsi at the time I bought him.
You were drinking the drink Pepsi?
Yeah.
And then you decided to call the fish Pepsi?
Yeah.
That's just craziness.
Yeah.
I can't remember what we did here, Rachel, can you?
You managed to wedge that in.
I did, and it was perfect, and now I can't replicate. There we go, it's that way.
It kind of came down over the rocks, didn't it?
Yeah.
Somehow.
Maybe it was the other way around.
I think it was the other way around. No, that way.
This is awkward, isn't it? Which way?
Oh.
Oh, pressure.
Yeah, just because I don't want this to...
Yeah, we need to make... Because this is quite delicately attached to that one, isn't it?
Yeah, we glued it and had some...
dramas.
Yeah, to say the least. It was... Oh no, I can't do it now.
Okay.
Oh wait, it just fell into place.
It.
Look at that.
That's
it was
natural.
kind of like that.
Yeah.
We might need to...
Okay. That's it. That's it.
Yeah?
Yeah. Perfect.
Something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then we can just move these stones to fit, so it looks like it's creeping over them a bit better.
Yeah, there's an extra rock there if we need it.
And then move that one out of the way. Move that one there. Perfect. So what are the other bettas you got? Are they all fancy males then, these bettas that you've got?
One's a female, obviously all in separate tanks.
And why is that? Why do they need to be kept in separate tanks?
I mean, males especially should be, because they can...
Males, so super aggressive with each other, are they?
Yeah,
okay.
So definitely keep them alone. Females, I don't keep together either. Some people can do it, I don't personally.
Okay.
But yeah, males definitely not, just because of the aggression.
And do you find different levels of aggression with different fish, or do they have different kind of personalities? Yeah,
definitely. And so with some of my bettas, they're kept with other fish, and they're okay with that. You know, they get on, and I think they kind of like the stimulation and the kind of having another fish there. But you have to be careful with what kind of fish you put in with them.
Okay.
Obviously, you don't want another aggressive fish. You don't want fin nippers. Mine are ottos, and they're quite peaceful, and they kind of just leave each other alone. But they do like to watch them and see what they get up to, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good for them.
Yeah. That's good, doesn't it, so far?
Yeah, that's close to the plan.
Yeah. Sometimes you can actually exceed the plan.
Yeah, I hope that happens.
I think it's lovely.
We've got some little gravel to add in for extra details as well.
Yeah. I have read that bettas really enjoy plants, aquarium plants. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. They seem to interact with them. Obviously, use them to rest on, and not only that, aquarium plants are obviously beneficial for water parameters and the water quality, which in turn is going to be good for the fish. Yeah,
because they produce oxygen.
Yeah.
Help, security and shelter for the fish.
Yeah.
Can you keep shrimp with bettas?
Some yes, some no.
Oh, it depends on the shrimp or the betta, or both?
Probably depends on the betta. I have one that I can and one that I definitely can't. So that just goes to show personalities again, completely different.
Yeah. Right, do you want to get
some little...
Yeah, do you want to get some soil?
Soil?
And then pour it gently around the background.
Are we using powder or soil?
Yeah, just use powder. Yeah. So I'll talk about soil while you pour, or is it quite heavy? Are you alright with that? Just pour it gently around the back. Yeah.
I might use the mug, yeah.
There you go.
Thanks.
Welcome. So Rachel's adding the soil now. This is soil powder. It's actually the same type as the normal soil. It provides nutrients for the plant roots. It helps to lower the pH and the hardness of the aquarium water as well. And it actually provides a really good home for beneficial bacteria. So it actually aids filtration, provides a great home for the plant roots. It's very easy to plant into. It's actually quite a light product. So it doesn't compact like sand or gravel can. You're getting on.
Just been
it will leach ammonia in the first few weeks or so. So you need to monitor this ideally, especially before adding any livestock. The ammonia is okay though, especially in a new system, because the filter will happily use that to start seeding itself with beneficial bacteria. So to kind of combat that ammonia, we need to do large, frequent water changes. And this is also going to help fight the battle against algae, which is really common in new setups. Okay?
Yeah.
Have you had any issues with algae over in your time?
Yeah. The first tank I ever set up got every single type of algae you can probably imagine.
That's probably a good thing though, because it kind of gave you a bit of a steep learning curve.
Yeah, it sets you up for, if you can tackle it there, any problem down the line isn't really a problem.
Yeah.
But it can obviously be disheartening.
If you're not, if you didn't have the information and you had those problems, you'd probably really struggle, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
How did you deal with the algae?
Obviously water changes is a big one, just manual removal. I didn't, this is obviously just me not having the knowledge at the time, but wasn't putting fertiliser in my aquarium thinking, oh, this is going to give me algae problems, and actually what it was doing was sort of starving the plants.
Yeah.
So the algae was going to win. Oh, well done.
Oh, I've got black
soil in the sand. This is why I was being careful.
I'm just conscious of time. Yeah, it's a good lesson though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't get sand on the soil on the sand.
You use a magnet, can't you, to get it?
You can, yeah. It's got a high iron content, this soil.
Yeah.
So you can actually, you can get these like extendable aerial things, telescopic arms, and or you can just,
it adds to the natural effect, doesn't it?
But if you had a mono shrimp in there, that's going to do that anyway at some point. Okay, so soil's in, sand's in.
Should we add detail stones?
We do that.
Should we do that later?
Do it at the end, shall we?
Okay.
Start getting some plants in there.
Yeah.
Add plants is the next slide.
Slide it.
Slider. Okay. Plants, Rachel.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Give them a bit of a spray.
Yeah.
Good measure.
We're starting background first? Or?
I normally go foreground, midground, background, so let's stick to the plan.
We'll do it your way.
Well, sure, Tank. What do you want to do?
No, let's do it that way, that makes sense.
Your way?
Your way.
Oh, my way.
Foreground first.
Foreground.
Which is going to be epiphytes really, isn't it?
Yeah. Go on then. Take them over.
All right.
I'll hold them and you can... Well, in fact, I'll tell you what we'll do. If you just start plugging in the Bucephalandra there, where you want to put it, I'll start talking about it and I'll prepare a pot for the audience. So Rachel is now just inserting these portions of Bucephalandra now in between the hardscape. So where the wood and the rocks are touching each other, or not touching each other, there's gaps, and we can actually wedge those plants in there. And these are called epiphyte plants. So these are plants that grow particularly well attached to decor. In fact, normally they have to be attached. The reason for that is they have the rhizome that needs to be exposed to circulating water. So that's the reason. Just going to pop that over there. So we take our plastic pot we take our plant out of the plastic pot. We have 2 halves of rock wool here, which we simply separate. And then we have our portions of plant here. This is obviously Bucephalandra kedagang. Beautiful plant, easy, doesn't need much light, doesn't need CO2 injection, so it's perfect for this aquascape. We've got another 3 portions there, if you like, Rachel.
Thanks.
And quite new to the hobby, actually. We've had it here at Tropica for a few years now, and it's a really popular, easy, beautiful epiphyte plant. Comes from Borneo originally, and it's actually under a little bit of threat because the jungles in Borneo are being decimated for palm oil production. So it's really important that we source our Bucephalandra from reputable sources. So people like Tropica, of course, who grow them sustainably either in our laboratories or in our greenhouses. Would you like some Anubias?
I would.
Nana,
yeah.
petite.
Yeah.
This is beautiful.
You've got a spider
Anubias.
attached.
Can I attach them as well?
Yeah, of course.
Can I put some over on the left? I think it's going to look good here. Is that all right there?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Anubias, exactly the same principle as the Bucephalandra in terms of it being an epiphyte, so it needs to be attached to the wood or the rocks. Now we can use super glue, we can use cotton thread or cable ties or whatever method you like, as long as it attaches, but the easiest method that we do here is simply wedging it in. Okay, we're on trident fern now.
I think we changed to this, didn't we?
You did.
Well,
what was
I
the
did.
Yeah? What was the original?
It was Java fern narrow leaf, but I think when I saw it,
it was massive.
It was
leaves
big,
were like this big, so we went to something a bit smaller, a bit more delicate, finer texture leaf. So I think this is suitable for a smaller scape.
Yeah.
That's the top tip actually. So when you're dealing with smaller aquascapes, it's important to use smaller textures usually to enhance the sense of scale. Conversely, we're aquascaping this for a better fish, so we do need some broader textures. Is that fair to say, so they can rest themselves?
Yeah, we probably could have added some broader leaves, I guess, in hindsight.
Okay, well that's something to consider for future. Can I help?
Yeah, yeah. Finding a place to wedge it in.
Okay, let's have a, probably put something there. Actually, against the glass, that's quite nice. Like that, and then final piece. So, Microsorum trident. It is an easy plant, although it will benefit from CO2 injection, as will most or all aquarium plants that grow underwater. It does need a little bit more light than the regular Java fern, so it should do okay. It's got quite a good light, I think, in this tank, so it should be okay. I'm just conscious of this wood's going to float, so we'll put. I think we'll just temporarily put a stone on there.
Yeah, just
before
till
we
it
fill.
sinks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, is that all the epiphytes in?
Yeah, I think it is.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay, time to.
Thank you.
Welcome. So, cool. We are good for time, so we can talk nice and slowly and plant nice and. We can use this as
relax
we can use this as a therapeutic exercise now.
Yeah.
So let's
What should we start with?
let's do the wallisi.
Yeah,
I'm just going to take one and talk about it. In fact, I've got a pot here. There we go. So here we have one of the smaller crypts that are available from Tropica, Cryptocoryne X wallisi. The only the two crypts I believe are smaller than this that we do are the Cryptocoryne albida brown, Cryptocoryne parva, which is the smallest. But this actually doesn't look so much different actually when it adapts to underwater. So the interesting thing about the plants that we're growing here at Tropica is that the ones that are grown in pots like this, these are all grown hydroponically in our greenhouses. So that means basically they're growing with their feet wet. So these roots are exposed to circulating nutrient-rich water. And the plants here are actually growing out of the water in the air. And that means they have plenty of access to CO2 and light, of course. And it makes them really robust for travelling. So really great for transportation. Another really interesting aspect about growing plants hydroponically or immersed is that they're really adaptable. So if say this pot has been grown in these greenhouses just literally 20 yards that way, this now gets shipped to the UK in a soft water area, right? pH 6. This is going in a tank now with pH 6, and that's going to adapt no problem. Yeah?
Yeah.
And another pot goes to Germany, and it's got a pH of 8 in Germany, this aquarium, but this plant adapts no problem, right? Because it's been grown out of water, and it can adapt to the pH 6 or it can adapt to the pH 8 water, because it's been grown out of water.
Yeah.
However, if this was grown underwater in a pH of 6, and then you took it to the other aquarium with a pH of 8, what's going to happen?
It's probably going to melt.
Yeah. So actually, a lot of people assume that when you buy a plant that's grown out of water and you put it in your tank, it's going to melt. It's actually the other way around normally. If you have a plant that's grown underwater in one type of water and you take it to another type of water, that's when it melts.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
Yeah.
If you buy your
just readapting to a new state, isn't it?
Yeah. If you buy your plant in good condition, like fresh from the nursery, and you have good quality conditions to keep it in, that plant is going to adapt absolutely no problem with no melting.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
So, Cryptocoryne wallisi, and interestingly, crypts do have a habit of melting really easily. If that does happen, do not worry. All it's happening is the plant is adapting to its new conditions. What will happen is it will, if you are keeping it in good conditions, it will adapt and then grow new leaves, no problem. So don't worry if you get a sudden case of crypt melt, it should grow back, no problem.
Some people just cut the stems off the top before they even plant it, don't they?
That is very true, yeah.
It's not as instant impacty, but...
Yeah, so like this.
Yeah.
That's what happened, that's what they do.
That is what they do.
This is what Yuri's does, you know Yuri's?
Yeah.
That's what he does.
Yeah. Oh, it looks sad, but it's good.
All of the power, all of the fuel, all of the energy that's required to generate new leaves is in there.
Yeah.
It's really cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that, I can plant that now and that will grow new leaves in a week or so. We want to see new growth. And that's what a lot of the pro-scapers do. They just trim off those leaves right away. because they know that it's not going to go through that melting phase. And adapt. New growth is going to be ready adapted. Let's talk about another plant.
Okay.
I love talking about plants, Rachel.
I like this plant.
Do you?
Staurogyne repens.
What can you tell us about this plant?
That I like it.
You like it? Is it easy?
I find it easy.
It is. It's an easy category.
Well, yeah, that would also be why. But there are some people who may struggle.
They will. A lot of people tend to find it melts on them. But going back to what I said earlier, if you've got a good quality plant to start with, and you're keeping it in good conditions,
then
you shouldn't have any issues.
Yeah.
So again, to prep the plant, remove the rock wool, and you can actually divide these into lots of individual stems if you wanted to, or you can divide it into groups, or you can divide it into one big clump, depending on how many pots you've got, depending on how much you want to separate, get coverage, etc. The more you separate, the more economical coverage you get. So Staurogyne up against the front there?
Yeah,
perfect.
The foreground plant.
So Staurogyne is a stem plant, but it stays quite low and it responds really well to trimming. Have you done that before?
Yeah, and it kind of just like bushes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It creates new side shoots and you can promote that really compact bushiness.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
It's one of my favourite plants to use in the foreground.
Yeah, I love it. I love it as a transitional plant.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And I like it adds really nice green.
Yeah.
Nice vibrant green.
Really nice green.
Yeah.
Easy.
Always looks quite healthy looking.
Yeah, vibrant.
Yeah.
Should we start a Staurogyne fan club?
Yeah.
Sounds like you want to be in the club as well.
Yeah, I'll be a member, a founding member.
You know, I started a Hygrophila siamensis 53B appreciation society.
How many members?
87.
Really?
Yep.
I don't know why I wasn't expecting that number. What? But it's a nice plant. I get why.
I'm disappointed with 87.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'll join. It's 88.
Hey. They even have t-shirts printed out.
Really?
Yeah.
I like crypts because they kind of grow well in shadowed areas, which is what this is going to be a little bit with this wood.
Yeah. What's your favourite crypts?
Wallisi, what we're using.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I quite like it. I like is it Albeda Brown?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I really like that one.
That's medium category.
Yeah, that's why we've not picked it for this.
Wouldn't be suitable for this one, unfortunately.
No.
But the Albeda Brown, we've used that in quite a few scapes recently.
Yeah.
Do make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, guys. We're going to be releasing a lot more great video content soon regarding the Interzoo tank. So we created 10 aquascapes for Interzoo 2022. We had some guest aquascapers over. We had Dave from Aquarium Gardens.
Yeah.
We had Tommy, you know Tommy from Green Aqua.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
A bit of a fan of Tommy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we had Sarah.
Yeah.
Sarah Casper and myself.
Yeah.
And Tommy did the 3-metre panoramic tank. You've seen that?
Yeah, it's really impressive.
Yeah. Is that your favourite out of the Interzoo tanks?
Oh, that's a tough one. I do like that because I'm impressed at like scaping a tank that big. I imagine it's quite tricky.
Yeah.
But I like Sarah's concept. You know, the plants through the decades, through the ages, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I like that idea. I like them all. They're all different. I really like Dave's easy category.
Yeah.
Easy scape.
Yeah. Why do you like? Why do you like it?
I don't know. I just think the composition of it's nice. That's kind of what drew me to it. And I wasn't looking that it was easy or medium or hard. I didn't look at that. It was just kind of the one that my eyes went to first.
I really love the fact that it's probably out of the three, it's one of my favourite. Is my favourite at the moment.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's all using easy plants, I think that's great.
Yeah.
Because it just shows
what you can do.
You guys at home, you don't need, the fancy, difficult plants to create beautiful layouts. In fact, if you go on the Tropica website, there is a menu option for layouts, inspirational layouts, where you can see hundreds of, well over 100 inspirational scapes that people can look at, see the plants that are used, see the techniques that are used to maintain them, a diagram of the layouts, etc. This will probably go on there at some point, so you'll be immortalised through the medium of the inspirational layout on Tropica.
Cool.
Yes.
I like that.
Right, we've got some more plants to add.
Yeah.
We've got Rotala, rotundifolia. Yes, Rotala, rotundifolia.
Yeah.
Yes. This is a easy stem plant. Will turn a different kind of colour. It starts off kind of green, and then it can kind of turn like a burnty orangey colour, dull red green colour, depending on the lighting. If you wanted to get a more red colour with a similar texture, the Rotala HR is perfect.
Oh, I've just pulled that out.
Yes, don't worry about it. I don't think anyone saw.
No, no one's seen it.
It's not as if we're live or anything.
Where did you place it? Let's just hope when we fill it that doesn't float out up.
Yes, let's hope. So when you, how many tanks do you have at home, Rachel?
7.
7?
Yeah, but 6 are all like low energy, like Betta tanks. Well, 4 of them are Betta tanks.
Right.
And I've got 1 that's high energy.
Okay.
But I started with all low energy tanks, and I still enjoy that, which is why I've got 6 of them.
Yeah. And are they all? Are you kind of rescaping them, or do you scape them once and let them evolve over the time?
So if I have rescaped a few of them before they've even really had a chance to evolve, just because I've decided that I didn't like it.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
And that's the thing, obviously, with aquascapes, they do evolve over time. That's kind of why I like it a lot as well, because it's, you know, you make changes, you do something, and it's like, well, what's this going to look like 2 weeks from now, or 2 months from now, or 4 months from now? And it's that constantly changing thing that I like seeing if my work's paid off, or if it hasn't, is there a lesson there to be learned?
Yeah.
So yeah, I do rotate them a little bit, not loads, because I kind of don't want to stress the fish out and constantly just.
Yeah.
Because that's obviously like that's important for me, is like the welfare of the fish.
Yeah, you come very much from a welfare perspective as like a pet keeper.
Yeah.
To start, that's your sort of primary.
Yeah.
And then I guess, did you use like that kind of desire to keep pets for the aquarium, but then you kind of got drawn to the aesthetics of the aquascaping?
Yeah, that was just like a secondary bonus. You know, to keep a pet fish, but you know, you've got like a beautiful tank to look at.
Yeah.
It's like a little bonus on that as well. So I try not to like put. I don't ever want it to be at the detriment of my fish.
No.
So I will always kind of put that first, but I do like working on having a nice, you know, planted aquascape, because I enjoy doing it. It's creative and it's an art, and I like that.
You must spend a fair amount of time maintaining 7 aquariums, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you do it all in one go, or how does it?
Mostly all in one go. It depends what type of maintenance I'm doing, if it's going to involve trimming and that kind of thing, or if it is just literally water changes. So I guess the time that I spend can vary.
Yeah.
But yeah, because obviously I want my fish to be happy, and I want the tank to look nice.
Yeah.
So I do put the work in there.
And you come from a design background, is that right?
Yeah.
You think that's been helpful for aquascaping?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe just in terms of understanding composition, layouts and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It probably does help.
Yeah.
So there is that side to it. And obviously graphic design and that kind of thing is, again, like an art form. And I kind of think aquascaping is too.
Yeah. I think it's definitely an art form,
yeah.
I think.
And for me, it just like encompasses all the things that I like, which is animals and nature and creating, and it's also inspired like new hobbies like photography, because I like taking pictures of them.
Yeah, that's the same for me. I got into photography because of aquascaping.
Yeah, that's me too.
Yeah.
And then videoing's becoming a thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Rachel, we have a question from the audience. What inspired the plant choice?
A lot of them are plants that I've used in my tanks already, and also because they are easy, and this was designed to be, you know, an easy setup that hopefully anyone can
replicate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you planting Ludwigia? Yeah.
And Another question for you, Rachel. What good plants are for shrimps?
What good plants for shrimp? Well, I like to put a lot of moss in with shrimp.
Yes, I agree. Loads of
because-
surface area.
Yeah, it collects like all the biofilm and bits that they kind of nibble on, and it's kind of a good place for babies to hide out in as well.
Yeah.
I would say moss, definitely.
Cool.
I don't know if shrimp are all that picky with plants.
No, there's no plants that I wouldn't keep.
Yeah.
It's more like what are the best plants for them. So yeah, yeah, mosses I would suggest as well.
Yeah.
Because they like the biofilm.
Yeah.
And there's so much surface area for the biofilm to collect on the moss.
Yeah. So it's a good food source for them.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just going to talk about this beautiful red plant here. This is one of your faves, isn't it?
It is now, yeah.
This is Ludwigia. I'm going to put this green plant away because I don't want to confuse people. This is Ludwigia palustris super red, and it's really easy. It can maintain a red colour even without CO2 injection if you've got enough light, but it just grows like a weed, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it needs
It's
trimming
quite
regularly.
wild and
it's quite
chaotic.
wild, but it's a really good, solid performer.
When it goes red, it is a really nice plant,
yeah.
I think.
You could argue it goes super red.
You could argue that, yeah.
Craziness.
But I won't.
But you know, it's a top tip actually. In new tanks, it's a really good idea to plant very heavily from the start, but also have a good proportion of those plants as fast-growing weeds. You know,
Yeah.
and basically most stem plants are classed as aquatic weeds, so these generally grow much quicker
Yeah.
than like rosette plants or epiphyte plants or carpeting plants.
It's good
So-
for fighting algae at the beginning
Yeah,
as well, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly that. Because they kind of use up the nutrients before the algae can.
Yeah.
And then if you have floating plants as well,
Yeah, definitely.
that
Yeah,
really
that's a
helps.
good one.
Is floating plants good for bettas?
I use them, yeah.
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 And how do they breed then? They're bubble nesters.
Yeah. So you quite often wake up to a little bubble nest in the tank.
But they'll do that even without a female in there.
Yeah, I think it's like a sign of them
Ready.
reaching, that kind of sexual maturity. Or,
Yeah. Gotcha.
So yeah, they will do that even without a female present.
Cool. And what? I'm just going to talk about this plant, and then I'm going to quiz you a bit more about bettas. Is that all right?
Yeah.
I'm really curious. I have kept bettas, but to be honest, I don't know much about them, so I'm really curious. Nothing happened there.
No.
That's Bacopa caroliniana, easy stem plant. Will grow quite tall, quite a broad texture, so the bettas are going to appreciate this one.
Yeah.
We don't have much room left.
We don't. I've just realised that.
Yeah, but there is a little bit of room here.
Space to plant
We'll just
it.
wedge that in there, no dramas.
I don't even know if we're gonna. Might get it in this back corner a
Right,
little
it's a
bit.
challenge for you.
Yeah. Rise to the challenge.
We're nearly there. How are we doing for time? 45 minutes. Perfect.
That's flown by.
Second giveaway. Second giveaway time. Fingers at the ready. You are going to have to, if you haven't already signed up to our newsletter, strongly recommend you do that right now. Go on tropica.com and you will find the answer to this next question also. And the question is, when is the next Tropicalive? I should know because I'm here for it.
Yeah.
And I do know because it's around Easter time.
All right, you do know.
Yeah. I do, yes, it's all good. Okay, we're ready for water, I reckon.
Little gravelly stones.
Oh, you really...
I like
I
like graded gravels.
You
and
do
things
that
like
now,
that.
and I'm going to pull out these little bits of soil. Do you know where the little stones are?
Yeah, behind you.
Hey. Oh, these bits?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they'll look quite nice.
Yeah.
And they're not tiny, so like a better fish wouldn't be able to ingest it.
Okay.
Quite an alright
That's good.
size.
And I think we do need to put a stone on this wood here.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried about that.
I did a workshop in Switzerland last weekend, and the wood floated.
Did it?
Yeah, luckily I switched off the live stream for. So we're going to shut. No, we're not.
Yeah, it ends now.
This ends now.
Yeah. So what did you do? Like, you just quickly put your hand in and stop it?
Yeah,
or
just dealt with it.
just dealt
Yeah,
with
had the audience help. We have got some more
happens.
questions for you. I'm just going to fire them at you. Is that okay?
it? Yep.
You carry on as well doing that.
Okay.
What's the best plant for a better hammock?
A better hammock. I know some people just use a big
big leaf.
A big leaf, like an Indian, is it Indian almond leaf?
Catappa leaf, yeah.
And you can like suction it to the side of your tank, or even just on the floor. They'll tend to lay on them because they're quite good for bettas anyway, because they release like a tannin. Essentially, you know, it's.
I've heard anecdotal reports that they contribute to antifungal and antibacterial qualities.
Yeah.
Have you heard that?
I have, yeah.
I don't know if there's any scientific literature out there to provide data on that.
Back that up.
But it's pretty cool. And you know, there's so much anecdotal evidence that these things are having a therapeutic value. I think you know, can't ignore it, can you?
No, I think generally they prefer like a soft acidic water, and obviously it adds that acidity to the water. Well, that's the plan.
Yeah, this is really good. I'm going to go and find a stone for this rock, wood, and then we'll start filling up.
Now I'm scared.
Well, if it... Cheers, mate. Is what it is. It's the famous quote.
Yeah.
Now, I know that looks ridiculous right now. That is going to stop it from floating.
Just try to fill these little gaps.
Yeah. And who knows, it might actually look really cool, and we've started a new trend.
Sticking rocks in at the last minute.
Yeah, ready when you are, Addy. Do we have the cup?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, I've had the valve the wrong way, no problem. Nothing to see here.
I think also the... I don't know if that's going to need to sit on that. Do you want me to grab anything?
Oh, did that fall off? The stone?
Kind of.
Yeah. Good job we're not live, isn't it, Rachel?
Yeah, because that would be embarrassing, wouldn't it?
It'd be really embarrassing if George Farmer messed up the Tropicalive with the stone falling everywhere. There we go. Okay, this is what happens in real life.
Yeah.
This is where we are in real life right now.
Let's not pretend it doesn't.
Cheers, mate. Okay, here we go. This is like a nice trickle, and we can have a good old chat, Rachel. Do you want to have a seat?
Yeah, why not?
There you go.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, you have got another question. How often does Rachel change her scapes?
Well, my longest one's been running for 2 years.
Was that the high tech?
Yeah.
High tech or high energy? What do you say?
High energy.
Why do you say energy instead of tech?
Because tech's like, don't know, just...
I think, can I?
You can, yeah.
I think tech insinuates the amount of technology.
Yeah,
that you're
and a price tag to it, I guess.
Yeah, and yeah, all the bells and whistles, but actually it's more to do with if you're using CO2 injection.
Yeah.
You know, more light, more nutrients. It's to do with actually how fast you're growing the plants, and so how much energy you're putting into the aquarium,
Yeah.
and how much energy you're getting out of it through the growth and waste production.
Yeah.
So it's about energy input, energy output.
Yeah.
It's nothing to do with the amount of technology.
Yeah.
So high tech,
Kind of wrong
I think
wording.
it's a bit misleading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in answer to the question, yeah, I've had one for 2 years, but no sooner than like 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah. Just because I want to develop my skills a little bit, and
yeah.
it's nice to be able to just keep creating.
Yeah, and as long as it's not, you know, I'm a big fan of rescaping, as long as it's not at the detriment of the animal.
Exactly, yeah, which is why I kind of try to keep it as longer term as possible,
Yeah.
just so it's not constant stress.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to go through a phase of just like scaping as much as I could, you know, and taking the fish back to the shop, and now I feel a little bit bad about that, because I was sort of using the fish as a commodity rather than a living entity that was in my care.
Yeah.
So I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, I'm not wouldn't be a fan of doing that.
No.
Unless I absolutely had to for some reason.
Yeah.
If there was bullying going on in a tank or something like that.
Absolutely.
But otherwise, no, if I get it, I've bought it because I want to look after it.
Yeah, I think there's a lesson there. You're these things that you're purchasing. Maybe it's something to do with like the purchase of something, because you've bought it. You feel like it's your ownership.
Yeah.
But when you're buying an animal, it's different, isn't it? It's like a living entity. It's in your care.
Yeah.
And although you bought it with money, it doesn't really belong to you, because it's a living thing and it's kind of got its own identity in its own life.
Yeah.
And you're just kind of its caretaker.
Yeah, and it's just our duty to look after it and give it the best care we can.
Yeah,
because we've chose to bring that into our home. So yeah.
You've got a really cool question about bettas here. I'll let you read it out and answer it.
Does Rachael have a preferred tail shape or colour in bettas, or does she pick them based on personality? Ooh, I don't think I pick them based on personality. Colour's definitely a thing. I'm going to be honest, I'm not great with knowing all the different shapes of tails.
Okay. I know half moon placat.
Yeah, I know that one too. There's veil tail and half moon and things like that. I do like the ones with the big fancy tails.
Yeah. I want to give a shout out actually, you know her, Charlotte.
I do.
For plenty of bettas.
She's very knowledgeable on bettas.
I was like texting earlier,
Probably
please tell me all about the bettas.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about it. And I was like,
she's like a betta prod, so yeah.
Yeah. We'll give her a shout out. At plenty of bettas, I think.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Oh, the Nano Aquarium guy is the guy that's been asking some questions apparently. Oh, how many? You've answered that one. 7 tanks? 8?
7.
9?
God, I can't even.
10?
7.
7?
7.
That's enough, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot.
So we can pop the video with that.
Yeah. So tell us about your bettas in more detail. How many have you got again?
So I've got 4. I've got 3 males and 1 female.
Okay.
Not that I have a preference, but generally most of the male ones that I've come across, they are a little bit fancier, maybe. But that's not always strictly true. It's just whatever's available at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I've had one Pepsi, as we mentioned, was my first fish that I got. Absolute legend of a fish. And he was my first one, and I kind of got him because I felt sorry for him because he wasn't in the pet shop that he was in. He wasn't kept in the most ideal conditions, at least by my standards.
Okay.
So I kind of got him as like a pity fish, and I didn't realise how much of a personality and how inquisitive and how intelligent they actually were.
Yeah. So you've got a bond.
Before buying one. Yeah, I think you can get a little bond with them.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's a proper pet fish, is it?
Yeah, proper pet fish.
Yeah. That's fair enough. I had Nimrod.
Yeah, I know about Nimrod.
Nimrod is epic.
Yeah. I just think they are the funny little fish.
I think it's only. What is it about? Do you keep other pets as well?
Yeah.
Do you feel? Is it a nurturing thing, or do you feel like? Yeah. What is it? What is it? The attraction to keeping pets?
Probably is like a nurturing thing. I don't know what it is. I just have this love of animals. And it's just innate within me. I just love them and I want to care for them and I want to give them the best care possible.
Does it extend to wildlife as well, or is it just domestic pets?
No, it completely extends to wildlife and obviously nature and the bigger picture.
Yeah. Oh, you like to spend time outside, walking, nature and stuff?
Yeah, I'm into that. And obviously with aquascaping, that encompasses a lot of the things that I love, whether it's like, animals, nature, plants, creating that kind of thing. So that's why it is actually a really happy accident that I found aquascaping.
Yeah. A good friend of mine described aquascaping as a spirit hobby.
I like
which
that.
I thought was a really lovely way to describe this hobby. For me personally, it might not be everyone's spirit hobby. But there's something, for me, it's something really special. I mean, I've kept all types of aquariums, but in particular planted aquariums and like dense, lush nature aquariums. For me, they really help connect me with nature.
Yeah.
And I think we're talking about pets, fish, plants. Is it safe to say it's for you? Is it about like a connection with nature?
Completely. Yeah.
It's same for me, and I think what we're doing here today, creating nature in a glass box effectively, it's a real privilege. I think that we have this ability to create something that's like beautiful to consume, like we're actually sitting there enjoying watching it, playing with it, etc. But it's also beautiful to create as well, to start with. And then you can go beyond that and you can use it to share your hobby with other people. We have a community now, and this is what, why we have the Tropicalive and Instagram, and I think as much as there's a little bit of a dark, potential dark side to social media and things like that, we can absolutely use it, for the betterment of the plant aquarium hobby, aquascaping, but it may be even beyond that. Maybe if we can just connect, you know, a few people more closely to nature, then that's going to improve things.
Yeah.
You know, for them and maybe for the world a bit more.
Yeah, that's kind of the goal, and obviously you're quite passionate with the way you speak about it, and hopefully people, well, a little bit. But hopefully people pick up on that and you know, listen to what you say.
I hope so. This is looking lovely and clear. Just keep an eye on this wood, I think.
Yeah.
It's okay. Okay, we have got a couple of announcements to do. Okay, it's for the merch, and the first winner is, I'll let you do the first winner and I'll do the second one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first winner is Andrew Billington.
Great pronunciation. Now it's my turn.
Good luck with yours.
Congratulations to Lukasz Strajci. STRZYZ with a hyphen.
Strich, I don't know.
Yeah, I think
Sorry.
It's like Polish or East, yeah. Congratulations, everyone.
Well done.
And we will be doing the big announcement very soon.
That's exciting.
Okay, so there are different types of Betta species, is that correct?
There is, yeah.
Betta splendens is the usual one that we keep in the hobby.
That's also the only one I've kept.
Yeah, is that the best one for beginners?
Providing that you've got the right knowledge and told the right information, then yeah, I think it makes a good
Should we do a summary of like what people need to consider before keeping a Betta? So
I think that's a good idea.
So 28 degrees or thereabouts Celsius, which is warmer than most tropicals.
Yep.
Minimum circulation,
but
good biological filtration.
Yeah.
So you still need a good filter, right? You need biological filtration, but not too much flow and circulation.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Some areas for the fish to kind of chill out and rest.
Yeah. They get kind of tired with the big fins.
Yeah.
Make sure there's no sharp edges on your.
Sharp edges.
You could add botanicals. I know that's not something we've done in this tank, but it is appreciated. I guess.
Talk us about those.
Yeah, so just things like Indian almond leaves, catappa leaves, like alder cones, and they release like a tannin, which can stain your water, but they appreciate it. Well, as far as I've understood studies on that, and it, like you said earlier, it kind of provides a antibacterial, antifungal, so it's good for the health. People often use it in like hospital tanks when the fish isn't, doing too well. Just like things to be aware of.
Okay. Food? What are you feeding them?
So mine get a mixture. They need like a high protein diet.
That's a really top tip actually. I learnt that from Charlotte today.
Yeah.
Insectivores they are.
They are insectivores, yeah. They probably eat like mosquito larvae.
Yeah, so they're going to be high
that.
protein.
Yeah. You can give them live foods, bloodworm as a treat, Daphnia is good for protein, bloating, things like that.
Okay. And how many times a day? Once, twice?
I do mine once.
Yeah.
Some people might do twice.
Do they know you're going to go?
They're on a morning, they're waiting in the corner, just ready. Yeah, but they are quite greedy fish. They will just eat and eat and eat, and I think the stomach's probably only the size of an eyeball. So quite often, if you overfeed them, they can get like constipated, which can result in swim bladder or vice versa. So you kind of got to be careful because they will just eat.
But their stomach's the size of their own eyeball?
I think so. Don't quote me on that, I might be talking rubbish, but I think it's small for what the amount that they eat. So you've got to be careful not to overfeed them because it can result in that.
Well, you've sold me on Bettas.
Have I?
Yeah,
I'm going to get
I really
another
want to keep one. Oh, we're at an hour. Okay. It's time for that. That's
gone really fast.
It has gone quite. I've turned that off by accident, haven't I?
I mean, nothing's floated yet.
Can you just keep an eye on that and then just turn that when it's near the top?
Yeah.
That's going to go any minute. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'm waiting. I'm just going to watch this fill up. I love this bit. It's really clear, and we've not got any floating wood, Rachel.
This makes me anxious, does this bit?
Does it?
Yeah, because I always think, it's going to float.
You know, anxiety is very, very close to excitement.
Yeah, there's not a lot of difference in the...
Physiologically, there's virtually no difference. So just be excited instead.
Okay. I'll be excited if the wood floats.
Okay, I think that's a roaring success.
Just ignore the wood,
Just ignore
rock on
the
the
stone,
wood.
no one's going to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll take that out in a few days once it's waterlogged the wood.
Yeah. Okay. It is time for the 100k giveaway. You might as well have a seat because I'm going to go on a big old ramble now.
I'm going to talk.
Yeah. So, thank you so much to everyone that entered the 100,000 follower giveaway for Instagram. It's really a big deal, actually. It's not just a number. It's the meaning behind the number. It means that there's a lot of people that are interested in aquarium plants, which is really important for us. Obviously, as a business, it's really important. But for me personally, as a content creator for Tropica, but also as a full-time aquascaper, to know that there are that many people, you know, following our company that are dedicated to producing, you know, beautiful aquarium plants for hobbyists all over the world. It's a real, it feels really privileged to be in that position where we have so many people. So thank you so much to everyone again for following us, and thank you especially to those that did enter the giveaway with the hashtag Tropica100k. It's safe to say it was really, really difficult to choose, and now everyone says that in competitions, but it really was. And there was a meeting of 6 of us in a room today, and we spent a big part of today choosing, shortlisting, and then finally voting and selecting the final winner. So it was difficult. We read all of the stories, and there were some really, really powerful stories, and, you know, and from someone that has had challenges, you know, mental health challenges, etc. Aquascaping has been absolutely fundamental in improving, you know, my quality of life, and I know many other people's quality of life. So that's really powerful, and I know it can make you feel quite vulnerable when you share these stories. So I want to thank you for your courage as well. So with that in mind, I'm going to announce. First of all, I'm going to announce the 10 honourable mentions, shall we say. So for the reasons I just explained, this is why, you know, you guys are at the top 10. So in no particular order, number 1 we have Wabyscape. Beautiful, beautiful story, beautiful content. Number 2, again, these aren't numbers. The numbers mean nothing. They're just in order. I'm not going to read the numbers again. Cookie Dough Scapes, Dough Mock, super talented scaper, a really nice guy. I've been on live streams with him before. Probably one of the most talented aquascapers in North America. Earl Scapes, I think he's from UK. I recognise the name. You recognise the name?
I've chatted to him a few times,
beautiful story. Thank you for sharing, really appreciate it. David Bono from USA, congratulations David, again, thank you for sharing your story. Gills Scapes, again from UK, is that right? You know Gills?
I'll try again.
Yeah? Yeah,
a good thing about the community.
It's a great community, and this is, you know, this is why it's all coming together. Actually, a good friend of mine, the aquascaping rhino, Ryan Knoll. Again, mate, thank you so much for sharing your story. Hope you're feeling well. A little quick shout out to Rhino. He won't mind me mentioning this. He actually got really poorly in Aquashella. Yeah. He ended up in hospital, and he didn't actually take part much. So I'm sure we'll be there next time, bigger and better.
Fingers crossed.
Next one, Lang Lang Design. Congratulations, beautiful content, lovely story. Next guy, I met this guy in Aquashella, Orlando, in fact. James Plemons, James at Nature Aquarium. Well done, mate. Beautiful story. Ex-paramedic, so you can imagine some of the stuff he's experienced. Yeah. Scottish Scaper, great video, lovely storytelling. Really enjoyed that one. And last but by no means least, Alex Vella, Alex Scapes. Absolutely beautiful story, very powerful. And I'm going to stop there before I go.
Yep.
Okay, thank you everyone. First of all, thank you Rachel. I've had such a blast working with you the last couple of days. It's been amazing.
It's been fun. And
again, thanks to the immediate team here and Jonas, but thank you to the entire Tropica team for making this possible.
Yeah.
Thank you to Fluval for supplying the beautiful aquarium. Great system for bettas. Thank you to all of the audience that are watching. Really grateful to all of you. Thank you to all the Instagram followers as well, of course. If you do want to have a chance of your content being featured on our social media, use the hashtag, and you've been inspired by this, use the hashtag tropicalive, hashtag made with Tropica and Tropica Aquarium plants. Please make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have enjoyed this video, I hope you have, please hit the thumbs up. You can still share this video and it's available to watch, replay at any time. So if there's anyone in your family, any of your friends that you might feel like might benefit from learning a little bit about this beautiful hobby, then please consider sharing it with those guys as well. Okay, I'm going to say cheerio now.
I'm going to copy you and say cheerio as well.
Take care, we'll see you next month. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, it turns out we didn't actually announce the winner. Yeah. So huge apologies for that. Completely blame Rachel.
Yeah, well done, George.
Yeah.
You have one job.
So one job. You had to remind me about the winner.
Yeah, it's kind of important.
So the winner is Bearded Scape. So congratulations, mate. Beautiful story, beautiful photo. Well done, and we're really excited to host you over here very soon. So get in contact with us. We'll reach out to you separately and we'll organise something soon. And congratulations, and thank you again to everyone for your interest in aquarium plants and aquascaping. Bye-bye.
Bye.